Still joining. Yep, I'll start the video. Okay, you can start.
Thank you. All right, hello, it's Julie from Ocean Rehab and Fitness. Hopefully we have a few more people joining us shortly, but for now, we will get started. For today's class, I'm going to use my dowel for a bit of our warm-up and perhaps for our stretching as well. And then I'm going to use a single hand weight for the resistance portion of our class. So if you have a dowel or something similar like a cane or an umbrella or a broomstick, you can go ahead and grab that. And similarly, a hand weight, small hand weight, you could also use a soup can, a water bottle, anything like that. We'll just need one for today. And make sure you have some water handy as well. I'll cue a few water breaks and of course take a sip of water anytime you need to. So we'll start today as we usually do, although our hands are already busy with the dowel. So I won't cue you to set your hands for a little bit of breath cueing. We will just focus on our breathing, starting with eyes closed if you like, at the top of our head. So the crown of our head gets a little closer to the ceiling as we take a breath in, and then we just focus on a nice even exhale. So a big breath in, stretching through the spine, and an even exhale. A few more like that. Breath in, and out, and in, and out. We're going to jump our focus to our belly. You're welcome to set one hand there if you'd like. And we are focusing on the rise and fall of our belly as if we can fill ourselves with enough air that it feels like we're filling our belly like a balloon. Breath in and then an even breath out, belly button towards your backbone, starting to tune into our core muscles as you pull belly button towards backbone. Breath in, fills up your belly. Breath out, squeezes out all the air. Let's just do one more like that. Great, we'll take the dowel now and just do a little bit of forward roll. So warming up through wrists and forearms. And then we'll do the same to the back. You can slow it down and take a little extra time to rotate. Good, last two. And one. We're actually just going to set that dowel down on our lap for another moment and just do some warm up through our neck while we're here before we start too much. So you can give me a few shoulder rolls to the back. Focusing on not the front portion of the roll, but coming back and down, pulling back and down. So lots of movement through the shoulder blades. Last one here. And then some active stretching through our neck as you tip your ear towards one shoulder and then to the other side. Last one each way there. And then we'll take a few slow nods of the head. So chin coming down towards your chest, back to center, and gazing slightly up towards the ceiling. Focusing on this as a movement at the base of your skull. Last one here. Great, let's get that dowel into action again. So we're going to go back to those shoulder shrugs, but you're going to start to add a little bit of a roll as you do this with the dowel. So start to add a little bit more motion. Good, last two and one. We'll be adding some hinging to that movement in just a moment. So just to prepare for the hinge, dowel back on your lap or hands on your lap, whatever you prefer, to add in a small hinge. So we're not looking for this to be a big movement. We're looking for our core muscles to activate, to bring us away from our chair back and then return to our chair back. If you have core instability and it's difficult for you to hinge, you can do press backs into your chair back instead. Make sure your wheels are locked. Good, last two. And last one here. And then if you'd like to add the hinge to our activity that we were doing before, we're doing a roll forward with our hands and the dowel, and then a bit of a hinge to give us a bit more movement through this particular warm-up. Good, we'll do two more here. And last one. Excellent. Let's bring that dowel up to shoulder height or slightly less, chest level, and start to move side to center. No rotation right now. So elbow bends as it leads to come side and then straightens as it comes back to center. Good, last three. And two. And last one here. Excellent. And then we're going to do a little bit of crossbody moves. So you're going to start with your dowel down past your hip. Doesn't matter which side you choose, and end with it up past your ear. So we're moving in almost like a giant paddle motion. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and last one here. And then you'll switch to the other side, set your shoulders, bringing it down to the side, up past your ear, crossbody. Good, let's do 3, 2, and 1. All right, come back to center. We're going to add just a little bit of spinal rotation to come side to side. I will leave it up to you. If you would rather have, or you know it's best for you to have more support to the front, you can do your spinal rotation here. We'll stay on one side for a few. If you would like to use the dowel, and therefore your arms for a little more movement through the spinal rotation. Go right ahead. Good. We're just going to do one more on this side. And then we're switching it up to the other. So you have the option of keeping a little more centered as you start that rotation, having your hands or the dowel on your lap, or adding that extra movement, arms following with the dowel to the side as you rotate. Good. Last two. And last one here. Excellent. All right, our last one is a push-pull. So similar to what we were doing with the rotation to the front, but this time, actually we're going to do it in two different directions. We're going to push front, and then we're going to push to the ceiling. And you can make this a really powerful move. So I'd like you to use chest muscles and shoulder muscles to push away in both directions, and then start to activate back muscles and lat muscles, your side back muscles, to pull back in, squeeze. If you would like to hinge, you can also hinge as you come forward. Great, we're just gonna do two more of these. And the last one here. Excellent. We are all done with our dowel for today. And we are ready to start with some cardio. So I'm going to grab a sip of water and we will get going. Great. So today I have one of the interval classes for you where we do 45 seconds of 4 different exercises, and then we take rest and do it all over again. So we'll go through what those exercises are going to look like, and then I'll start my timer and we'll get started with our first set. So exercise number 1 is our powerful arms or sprinter arms. So shoulders are set, elbows are bent, powering your arms, using core muscles to help stabilize so that shoulders are facing forward and we have lots of power. Great. So we'll just slow that one down and get ready to do that one with our first 45 seconds right away. Our second one is seated jacks or single arm jumping jacks. You can be dual arm as well, or we can do one side at a time. So I will let you decide, one side at a time, not quite as much intensity, or both arms at once if you have the space. Great. So that's our second one. Our third one is seated burpees. So that is a reach down towards your toes, a reach up towards the ceiling. Reach down to your toes, up to the ceiling. So we'll just do one more for now of those. Those are our seated burpees. And then skier arms is our last one. And that will be a reach out front, a press back behind. This could also be done as a single arm if you're looking for a little less intensity today. And you have the option of hinging. So I'll remind you of all those as we get started here. I'm going to get my timer ready and we will go through our first set of that exercise. So. There we go. All right, 45 seconds on my timer. Here's our first one, ready to go. Sprinter arms, powerful arms. Great. So really activate through that core, make yourself really strong so those arms can power you. Okay, so we'll be doing this set of 4 exercises 3 times 3 was my plan for today. We have 10 more seconds of this first exercise and we'll move straight into the second one. So our second exercise is seated jacks. Here goes my timer. Here we go with our next set. Seated jacks, single arm or double arm. Your choice. Good. So you can do both arms at once or you can do one at a time. depending on your intensity level. So working with whatever is comfortable for you today. And checking in every once in a while to see whether the intensity is feeling right for you, knowing that every day is a little bit different. So adjust as you need to. Good. We are going to move on to burpees in last 2 and 1. Good. There goes my timer. We're going down towards your toes, up towards the ceiling. This can be fully upright, or it can be with a forward hinge for your reach for your toes. Great. Keep going. We have 1 more in this set, and then we'll take a short break. Ten more seconds of this exercise, and then we're moving on to our 4th move, which is our skier arms. Last one here. Here we go. Skier arms, planting your poles, pushing back. Again, this can be a single arm, or it can be both at the same time. Option of hinge here as well. Good, keep going. We have 15 more seconds, and then we will take a short rest. Last 2 and 1. There goes the timer. Great, so I'll let that run for 45 seconds while we shake it out a little bit. Grab a drink of water if you need to. You can shake out your shoulders, maybe give yourself a hug. Shake your head side to side. All right. We're almost ready to start our next set. So we are starting as we did before with the sprinter arms. My timer is going to remind me in about 5 seconds, and we will get started. So when you are ready, sprinter arms. Great, lots of power. Working on that stability through our core as our arms are moving as well. Looking good. We have about 15 seconds of this one. And then our next exercise is our seated jacks. So we've got last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Option of either single arm seated jacks or double arm. Great. Keep going. Trying to keep shoulders away from the ears so that our shoulder muscles themselves are adding lots of power to this exercise, but our neck muscles are not working too hard to try to make this move bigger. Got 5 more seconds on this one, then we're moving on to our burpees. 2 and 1. Great. Set your shoulders, reach for your toes, reach for the ceiling. Hinge is optional. Good, keep going. We have 20 more seconds on this exercise. Coming up after this is our skier arms and then a little break again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. Skier arms, shoulders are set, poles are planted, pressing back. Optional hinge. And so this one's using the power of our rear shoulder muscles as well, and a little bit of mid back. We have 10 more seconds here. About 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Shake it out. Little rest before we move on to our last set of these same 4 exercises. Maybe move your head side to side or look down towards your lap. Neck roll. We have about 10 more seconds and we'll get going again. So we'll start with our first exercises we have in the last 2 rounds of this these intervals, and that's our sprinter arms. Here we go. My timer won't stop beeping. Okay. Great. Sprinter arms. Lots of power. Nice and upright for this one. We are not hinging for this one. We are upright, making use of both our rectal abdominals, which is our center core muscles, and our obliques side core muscles to help stabilize. About 10 more seconds here, and then we are moving on to our seated jacks. Great, here we go. Seated jack. Set your shoulders, single arm jack or double arm jack. Almost done our cardio portion of our session together today. So we have 10 more seconds of this one, and then we are moving on to our seated burpees. 3, 2, 1. Great. Set your shoulders, reach down for your toes, up for the ceiling. Hinge is optional. Good, we're coming up on 10 seconds left in this exercise, and then we only have one more, that is our skier arms. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great, setting your shoulders, getting ready to plant your poles and push. Good, keep going. We have 20 more seconds. Countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. We are finished our 3 rounds of those cardio exercises. So shake it out, grab another drink of water if you need it. And we'll get ready to grab our weight and do a little bit of resistance work now. So we'll just need a single weight today. Again, if you don't have a weight, maybe you want to use a water bottle or a soup can or something similar. And also just using range of motion with your own body weight is just fine as well. Good. So here we go. We are going to do single side. I'll have you start on your right side. I'll start on my left so that we are a mirror image of each other. And what we are going to do is use a fair amount of shoulders, but also chest and back muscles in this exercise. You're going to see it two different ways. So we are going to start staying nice and strong, upright. You have one hand free to either stabilize on your lap or hold onto the arm of your chair if you need to for a little extra stability. And I wanted to mention for most of these exercises that we're going to do next, I'll reference a lever a few times. So the longer our lever, as in the longer our reach forward, the more workload we have, not only for the muscles that we're using, but also for our core stabilizers. So knowing that if you have a weaker core, you may want to make your lever a little bit shorter, or you may want to dial down your weight so you're using a longer lever, but challenging your system that way through the core. So hopefully that makes sense. We're going to start nice and upright, so you have that free hand to stabilize here as we press forward and then press side. The side press you might find is a little bit more difficult, and it does not need to be straight out to the side. So if you need to make a little bit of a diagonal press to make it comfortable for your shoulder, I am absolutely fine with that. We're keeping our shoulder back and down so that our shoulder muscles can work without our neck muscles trying to take over. Good. So we'll do 4 more. 3, 2, and last one here. Excellent. All right, switch to the other side. Shake out that working arm. And we'll get ready to do the same. So remembering again, it does not need to be a full forward reach depending on your core stability and the weight you're using. So shorten up your lever if you need to. Shoulder is set, a forward press, a side or diagonal press, whatever feels best for you. Great, you get my approximate count of 10 for these ones today. I was busy talking for the first few, so we'll do 3 more. And 2. And last one here. Okay, we are going to move back to the first side, which will be your right side, my left, and add one other optional piece. So anytime I do a hinge or side flex exercise, it's always optional depending on your core stability, protecting your back, of course, in all our exercises that we do. So for these next few, I'm actually going to change back to the other hand just so I have this hand free for a moment. So you might want to do the same. The right side that you're going to be working next, what we're doing, my intention is that we can do a forward hinge while we reach and a side flex while we reach with the weight. So you might try that without weight in hand just a couple times to see how that feels and decide whether A, you want to do this exercise without weight and add the hinge and flex, or whether you want to add the weight as well and either hinge and flex or keep nice and upright. So lots of choices here. Hopefully that makes sense as we get started on this next set of the exercise. So we're only going to do 6 of this because it will be a little bit more difficult and the shoulders have already had a pretty good workout already. So shoulders are set. We'll slow it down a bit. So you're going to press forward as you optionally hinge forward. And then press side as your hips stay in connection with your chair, but you flex slightly side. That was 1. 2. 3, 4, 5, and last one here. 6. Good, let's switch it up and do the same on the other side. So as we did before, let's try it without the weight in hand, and then you can decide from there what's best for you. So if you want to try the hinge and flex option without the weight first, see how it feels, and decide whether you want to take that weight in hand and add those elements. So last one like that, and we will get started on our count of 6. So shoulders are set, nice and tall through our spine to start. Optional hinge as you press forward, optional flex as you come side. That's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5 and 6. Great. Okay. So shake that one out. We are getting ready for a different exercise, and that's going to be a row. So we're moving back to that first side, your right side. Weight is in hand. Our first set of rows are going to be upright rows, and then I'll give you an option of a hinged row for this set of exercises as well. So shoulder is set and in position. Weight is at about knee level, and we're going to do a fairly wide row for this one. So we're going to lead with our elbow, squeeze our shoulder blade towards our backbone, and return it to our start point. So squeeze your backbone, or sorry, your shoulder blade towards your backbone, meaning that our rhomboids that sit between shoulder blade and backbone are engaging to squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Good, let's do 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Great, and then we'll switch to do the same on the other side. So shoulders are set, tall in our seat, ready to lead with your elbow and come out to the side, back to center. Right, let's do 4, 3, 2, and last one here. Okay, so we are adding an optional hinge for the next set. And just as we did the previous exercise, we'll just do 6 like this, but we're going to slow the exercise down a bit. So there'll be a bit of a hold at the top end of the movement, just to give us a little bit more workload on that muscle group. So you have one hand free to stabilize on your lap as needed, or holding on to the arm of your chair. Shoulders are set and in position. You are welcome to stay upright for this or to hinge. So if you are hinged, just check in and make sure that you are long through the spine from the top of your head down to your tailbone. Shoulder is set. Weight is down at mid-calf level. And we're going to still go wide in our row. So you're going to squeeze and pull your elbow back and up, hold, release. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Great. And then we'll reset and get ready to switch to that other side. So shoulders are back and down. Hand is here to stabilize. Hinging is always optional. So if you would like to stay upright for this one, that is fine. Or hinge, check in to make sure you have that long spine position. And then get ready to squeeze and hold. Elbow pulls up and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and last one here, 6. Great. All right, we are moving back to weight in your right hand, and we have a couple of core exercises to do before we get ready to stretch. We're going to start with some side flexion, so using our oblique muscles, our side core muscles to work this. So weight is down to your side. Free hand can be stabilizing either on the base of your chair or the arm of the chair if you need to, because we want our hips to be evenly weighted on our chair. So as we do that, we are going to side flex and then use our opposite oblique muscles to pull back up to center. I like to have my hand there for a little bit of feedback. I can feel that muscle working. Side flex, muscle squeezes to pull you back up. Side flex, squeeze up. Great. We're going to do 3 more here. 3, 2, and last one here. And then we're going to move to the other side and do the same. Shoulders are set. Weight is down at your side. Hand is stabilizing as you need to on either the base of your chair or the arm of your chair. Hips are evenly weighted as you side flex, squeeze through that oblique muscle group and pull back up. All right, let's do 3 more. 3, 2, and last one here. Okay, for the next core exercise, we'll be using more rectal abdominals, and I have a few different options for you. So depending on which of these is best for you, you can adjust accordingly. If you have compromised core stability and you need the support of your chair back, what you're going to do is, again, make sure that those wheels are locked. Weight is optional. If you would like to have it in hand, that's okay. We are going to do something else with it in a moment, but it is definitely an option. And you are going to press into your chair back because your core muscles are helping to engage and press you back, and then return regular seated. So it may be a very small movement, and that's okay. Good. If you have more core stability and you're able to move forward in your chair slightly, we're going to do some chair sit backs. So the weight will still be close to your body, or you can set it down if you'd prefer to have your hands free. And we are going to be staying tall through our spine as we sit back towards our chair back. No need to touch, but you can touch if you need to, back to your chair, and then come to an upright seated position. So there's the 2 different options for you. And we'll move through some either chair presses or chair sit backs here. Let's do 4 more. 3, last 2, and last one here. Great, just stay where you are. We are going to do 1 more set of those, and you have the option of using your weight with a little bit more difficulty. So before I was talking about levers when we were doing our pressing in different directions exercise, and we'll play around with the lever here as well. So knowing that it's a little bit easier to hold the weight and do an exercise when it's close to your body, the farther away from the body it gets, the more workload for the muscles, and also the more stability that's needed. So do be aware of how this feels for your body and adjust accordingly. Set down the weight or bring it closer to your body if you need to. We are going to do 6 as we've done in some of the other exercises, nice and slow. So either the chair press that I showed you first or the chair sit backs. Here we go. We're going back for 6. 5, don't forget to breathe, don't hold your breath here. 4, 3, 2. And last one here. Great, we're all done with that weight for today, and we are ready to stretch. So we're just to do the first few stretches with nothing in hand, and then we will use our dowel for the last few stretches that we do. Okay, splash myself in the face. All right, so we will get ready to stretch through our mid back first. Shoulders are set, arms will start wide, and then come around and give yourself a nice slow hug. Check in and make sure those shoulders are low. And for this first stretch, we're going to keep our elbows low as well. So maybe you start to focus on your breathing a bit here and think about how every breath in expands through your rib cage enough that you feel like your 2 shoulder blades come away from each other a little bit to give you more stretch, and then a release back to your start position. So it's a subtle change, but if you can kind of think about filling up that space between your shoulder blades with air on every breath in, you get a little more stretch. Last one like that. Great, you're going to unwind your arms and rewind your arms, perhaps with the other arm on top this time. Shoulders still stay low, but this time elbows can point forward a little bit. And then actively pull forward, not up. So you're not shrugging your shoulders up, you're pulling your shoulder blades away from each other. So it's quite a small move. And then if you are able, and this feels good, to add a little bit of a hinge without the support of your arms, you can go ahead and add a little more stretch by hinging forward. Great, come on back up and unwind yourself here. We'll use the dowel now for the next few stretches, so you can go ahead and grab that. Great. So our first stretch with the dowel is actually going to be with one side of it on the floor. So this is a bit dependent on what you're using as a dowel and the flooring that you have. We're going to put a little bit of weight, although not a lot, onto this dowel. So I don't want it to slip out from under you as you're relying on it. So do just be a little bit aware of that as you do this next set of stretches. You could always not use the dowel and hold on to the arm of your chair instead for this particular one. So first we're going to reach up and over, staying nice and tall through our spine without any spinal flexion. Taking a few breaths in and out here. We're stretching out through our lat muscles. Great. And then we're going to utilize the dowel a little bit more, or again, if you're more comfortable using the arm of your chair as your support, that is fine as well. So this time, as we reach up and over, we're going to slightly side flex to give us a little bigger stretch. And maybe you will press your hand actively towards that corner of the ceiling. Great, bring that arm down and we'll switch to the other side and do the same. So again, using the dowel or using the arm of your chair if you feel more comfortable doing that. Our first stretch was reaching up and over without the side flexion. So just a big reach. Some nice even breaths in and out. And then you can reset that arm down. We'll now add that bit of side flexion. So flexing towards the hand that's either holding your arm of your chair or the dowel. And an active press if you like. Great, come on back to center with that arm. And we're going to take the dowel so that we're holding it in both hands and do a little bit of range of motion and stretch through mid-back and spine here as well. So I'm going to hold the dowel out at chest level or slightly lower. Good. Just going to do a slow rotation with maybe a breath or two while you get here. And then come on back to center. So just within a comfortable range for your body. Great, come on back to center. We're going to do that one more time each. Okay, no problem, Allison. Thanks for letting me know. Saw your message. Great. We're going to do that one more time each side. So rotation, this time maybe looking over your shoulder towards the back of the room. And back to center. We'll do the same on the other side. Rotating, looking towards the back of the room. And come on back to center. Great, we are almost finished. I have 2 more stretches for you. Our next one, you have a couple of options. I'm going to keep my dowel in hand and just have it set on my lap. If you prefer to set it down and just have hands on your lap instead, that is fine as well. We're going to move through either a forward hinge, not looking for any certain amount of movement, but just looking for a little bit of release through low back and potentially in through your hips. Your other option instead of the hinge, if you like moving through more of a cat-cow, is to hinge and look up and then curl and come back to center. So I will let you decide which of those 2 feels right for you today. We'll just do that a few times through. Last one here. Great. And then our last stretch for today is our neck stretch. So for this one, I will have you sit up nice and tall, shoulders are low, and we'll look down towards one hip. And take a few nice even breaths in and out. So we'll make this our breathing exercise to end class today as well. So you can take a little bit of extra time as you take some nice even breaths in and out to feel like every breath in expands the space that you're stretching through our typically tight neck muscles. And then make sure you take a nice even breath out as well. Good, and then you'll bring your head back to neutral and do the same on the other side. Shoulders are set, tall in your seat, looking down towards your hip. And then taking a few moments to focus on your breathing. Nice even breaths in and out, thinking about how every breath in gives you a little bit more space to stretch and relax through those neck muscles. Yes, we'll take one more breath there, and then you can bring your head back to center. I'm going to set down my dowel so that I have both hands free, and we will finish class as we always do, reaching down towards the ground, and then a big breath in, reaching up towards the ceiling 3 times. One more. Great. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope to see you again soon.
Okay, Julie.
Okay.
See you next week.
That is it. We had a very small group today.
Yeah. One person tried to join but couldn't join. I don't know why, but
Yeah, I know. That's too bad, but
yeah,
hopefully they'll try again next time.
3 were there, but then everyone left one by one.
I know. I was all by myself at the end.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Have a good week. We'll see you next week.